and welcome to the Diana Falzone Show here on Paltalk. I am super excited because I have a very special guest for you today. I know there are a lot of brides and grooms and people who just love out in the world right now, and I have brought in a wedding planner extraordinaire who also happens to be my wedding planner for my upcoming wedding in September, and a bridesmaid because I trust her implicitly. We have Nikki French, the wedding planner for her own company, A Cinderella Event. You guys can check that out right now, A Cinderella Event.com. Thank you, Nikki, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And I just want everyone to know that if you have questions regarding love, life, but really today it's about weddings. So if you have questions about wedding planning, maybe how to pop the question of someone special, you can raise your Paltalk hands. If you have a mic, you can ask a question to Nikki French and myself. Or if you don't have a mic, you still can play. And you can do that by just texting in your question and we will get them and answer them right away. So Nikki, congratulations on your new company.
Oh, thank you very much.
So explain to me a little bit of how you were inspired to start your own wedding planning business.
Sure. Well, I started planning a lot of my friends' wedding, and I loved it. Then I got married a couple years ago, and after it was done, I was like, I had withdrawal syndrome. It was so weird. And everybody was like, aren't you glad it's over? I was like, no, I had so much fun planning it. So that's how I started. I'm like, maybe I should become a wedding planner.
Really?
Maybe that's what I should be doing. And I just started, and here I am.
But I think you have to have a knack for the creative, and you have to kind of look at something and like a blank canvas,
right,
and know how to decorate, know how to work it out. And one of the things that was overwhelming for me is I'm not a Martha Stewart type person. I'm not a domestic goddess by any way.
Well, you got a little bit in you.
I just clean a lot, but I'm not like good at the crafty things. And when I was looking for a venue, it kind of ran into a little bit of trouble. And Nikki said to me, she said, remember, a room is a room no matter where it is at the end of the day. A banquet hall is a banquet hall. It's how you can envision it and how you can work those things out. So for people looking to have an extraordinary wedding, they don't need to spend a lot of money. So what are some of your tips?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I think the best thing when you find a venue is that the people that you're working that own the place are very easygoing and willing to accommodate everything that you want. Mm-hmm. Because if you have a wedding planner or someone brought in or friends that can help you, you can, and you know, if you said if it's a blank canvas, you can bring in all kinds of beautiful things. Mm-hmm. And you know, you can scout the web, you know, for all these crazy, amazing things that, you know, it's amazing what you can find once you go online and all of the sparkly, I mean, I know.
Yes, the little sparkles.
Yes. So yeah, I definitely think, you know, if they can check out my website, you can see that, I mean, a lot of pictures on my wedding website are from low budget to very high, and you would never know.
In terms of cutting corners for a wedding, like, mm-hmm, there's so many things that you could spend a lot of money on. What are the things that you believe you should put the money towards, mm-hmm, and what are the things that you can cut costs with?
Well, it all depends on the bride and groom where they want to have the big wow factor. Mm-hmm. If it's a design factor, if they want that big wow when they step into the room, or if they're big foodies or they really love wine. You know, so it really depends on the couple, yeah, I believe.
Yeah, so that's kind of a good thing to know. I know for me, a lot of people get carried away with the save the dates, and I drove Nikki crazy because I'm like, all right, I'm trying to appease my fiance, I'm trying to appease my mom, his mother, and it was hard because no one could come to a kind of a conclusion. I'm like, all right, guys, well, we need to get these save the dates out. So I made an executive decision, which was, let me do a green envelope, which was just a paperless invitation, good for the environment. Emailed it out, and I was done because I just couldn't get over the fact it became such a to-do, and you could spend hundreds upon hundreds of dollars, mm-hmm, on save the dates, let alone the invitations. And would you recommend that for brides to just sometimes take the reins and make the executive decisions?
I mean, you know, I know from my own wedding and experience, I have a big family, you know, on both sides, and everybody has their little input, and it's good to take, you know, advice from people. But I think at the end of the day, this is your wedding, and your fiance's too.
Yeah, you got to remember the fiance part. But how much of a say, and maybe guys, you want to weigh in on this, how much of a say do men really have on the wedding? Because my fiance and I butt heads a little bit. Like, mm-hmm, we get along very well, and we have the same taste.
Right.
But our issues lie more in the sense that he's a little bit more critical he'll be like, wait, I said sand ash manzanita branches. And I was like, well,
I think that's really good that he wants to be involved, you know.
It's great.
I know
it's
that.
great.
Because a lot of men are just like, no, baby, just do whatever you want, you know. So I think it's a balance, you know. You have to, I would say, give like 2 or 3 things, you know. Speak to your fiance, be like, what do you want? What is it, that one thing that you have to have at the wedding?
Right.
And definitely let him. And another great thing is, which is very popular today, is the groom's cake. And,
Yes.
you know, I know that, you know, a lot of people are doing it now.
It's pricey, though. I think you kind of have to figure out, like, how much.
Yeah, I mean, they come in
spend.
all different sizes. So you could have if you want very elaborate, you could have it on the smaller side, or if you want a little bit more plain or sentimental, have little notes or whatever it is, you know.
Right, something just cute or a little bit over the top. And by the way, guys, if you're just joining us, we have Nikki French in studio with us. She's a wedding planner. You can check out her event planning company, A Cinderella Event.com. Can I also kind of get into the mindset of what in the sense works in terms of venues? Like, if you're looking for a small wedding, do you have to have it at a banquet hall? Like, what are some creative outside the box ideas?
No, not at all. I mean, now that it's nice out, a lot of people opt for having outdoor weddings. I mean, especially in New York City, there's so many great spaces. Another nice option is, you know, some people think backyard wedding is, you know, a little bit on the small side, but, you know, you can make it, like, you know, we had said before, a canvas, you know, you can put up, there's a lot of great tenting, you know, websites you can find online.
Yeah.
And that would be a blank canvas. You can make it more intimate, and, you know, at your home, I think it's always, you know, nice for pictures. Yeah. So yeah, I would say the backyard wedding is, like, underrated.
Have you ever come across the bridezillas, the ones that people discuss and talk about, but no one ever really wants to call them out on it?
Yes. I mean, you know, every bride, I think, is probably got a little Zilla in her.
It's stressful.
You know, no, it is. It's a stressful time, and
I think it's the transition too, going from, like, single girl, even though you're not technically single when you're engaged and you're in a relationship, and going into that, like, wife role. It's kind of, it's a transition.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, especially in this economy, a lot of people, you know, tend to shy away from having a wedding planner, but I think, you know, there's a misconception a little bit, because a wedding planner, you know, we have a lot of great contacts and vendor, you know, people that we know in our database, and we can really help, you know, be involved as much or as little as the bride wants. So I think that really can help, you know, the stress, take a little bit of the stress off.
And that was the one thing that my sister-in-law told me was, get a wedding planner, because it will just change your life and decrease your stress. Because people who think that they can plan a huge wedding, especially if it's 100 people or more.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's really
hard. It gets very overwhelming.
Yeah, because you have, people. I mean, I'm sorry, but, like, favors and, like,
I know, it's all the little
pieces.
details.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, or like bubbles or rice at the, you know, at the ceremony or whatever. You know, it's all those little things that, you know, towards the end you might have forgotten. And, you know, if you check out on my website, you can see a lot of different packages, you know, from the day of that, you know, if you just want somebody there to wrap it up, or like I said before, you can be involved as much as you want for the busy, or even, you know, the busy Manhattan bride. I know a lot of women need, you know, a little help.
Oh, I think everybody needs help. Maybe they're just afraid to kind of admit that.
Yeah.
With a bridezilla, for the bridesmaids out there who might be dealing with one, what's your advice to them?
I think that they have to just be open to listening to the bride and, you know, having her vent, because, you know, we're their bridesmaids, and you just have to kind of be there and say, yes, it's going to be okay, and just reassure that you'll always, you know, the bridesmaid will be there for her bride at any time. You know.
Wow, that's really good. I mean,
I think that's, you know, that's what it has to be.
But what about the flip side with the bridesmaids that go, like, diva, and they want this and they want that? Like, I was watching Say Yes to the Dress Bridesmaids, and these women are like, I won't be in your wedding unless you get me this very purple.
I know, it's nuts. It's crazy. I mean, I think
kick them out?
Well, it's touchy, because, you know, it could be friends you've been with for a long time, or it could be family members. You kind of have to have, you know. So I think you just have to be mindful before you decide on, who you're going to have and try to think, are these people going to be at my side and supporting me and easygoing? And at the end of the day, it's, your wedding. It's the bride's, wedding that needs to be, everything needs to be on her. And it's, it's one of those days where, it's so cliche, but it's like the most important day of your life, and it goes by so fast. So you want really people around you to be supportive. And if you do have that, that crazy bridesmaid, I think talking to her and just sitting her down and letting her know, that I appreciate you, that you want everything nice, and so do I, but let's agree, to disagree, or,
Right.
If you've been friends with her for a long time, I'm sure you can work it out.
In terms of the planning process, it's not just one big party. There's parties that lead up to it.
Yes.
Can we discuss the importance of a bridal shower and what that exactly is?
Sure.
Because I think a lot of people don't really get what the point is.
Well, it's to shower the bride, with gifts and fun and games, all kinds of sorts of things. And it's another opportunity for the mother to be more involved as well. Mm-hmm. A lot of brides opt to have both a bachelorette and a bridal shower. Which, yes.
I'm definitely going to do that.
I think it's great, to have both. Because, like I said, your mother-in-law-to-be and your mother, I think, for the bridal shower, she can be more involved.
Right.
A lot of times, if a lot of parents live far away from, their daughters, and that's a great time to, really connect because, it's great to run everything by your mother, but sometimes it's hard, when you're planning a wedding and they're far away. So I think that it's important. If you can, I would do both.
Yeah, do both. Because you don't have to break the bank with those things either.
No, absolutely not.
You could do it at a house. You could do it in so many different places.
Nail salons have great, spa days, or even taking a trip to, Atlantic City for the day, just something fun, or a mini road trip or a day to the beach. There's so many ways just to, reconnect and, have a nice, relaxing time,
With the wedding shower, does the groom come to it or the groom-to-be?
That's totally up to him. Most of the time it's customary for the groom-to-be to come towards the end and just kind of show face and say hello to everyone. And maybe he doesn't know everyone in the bridal party or, the family members that are going to be there. So I think it's important for him to come towards the end.
Yeah, and just say thanks because that's where you get all your gifts from your registry for the most part, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's interesting. And then in terms of the bachelorette party, when do you do these things? What's the timeline for the bridal shower, for the bachelorette?
Sure. Well, the bachelorette is usually a little bit closer to the wedding. I would say about a month away from the wedding is a good. You don't want to get too close because you don't want to look. Some bridesmaids throw crazy bachelorette parties, and you don't want to be looking down. You want to look fresh for your day. So I would say a month in advance is a good idea. Yeah. And then the bridal shower, it also depends if you're having another wedding party you can have is an engagement party.
Oh, yeah.
So that's another thing you have to think about. Usually a couple months after you get engaged, you can even do up to 6 months after you get engaged. And then after that, following a couple more months, then I would say hold the bridal shower.
Okay. See, these are all really great tips. I know a lot of guys are like, I just don't understand. There's so many things going on here. Yeah. And if you're joining us, we're getting kind of towards the end of the show, but we have Nikki French, who is the wedding planner and founder of the company A Cinderella Event, and she's running all of this, and it's craziness when you're dealing with brides and bridesmaids and mothers the bride and groomzillas, and there are groomzillas out there. Yeah, you know these types?
Yes. It's great. You would think that they don't exist, but they do.
Oh yeah, they want to be totally involved. What are some wedding faux pas that you would be telling people, please avoid this, don't do this during the wedding planning process or actually on the day?
Well, I have to say, more than ever, brides are doing, it's kind of like a trend I've seen, more than, a lot of people ask me what's trends with fashion. I see more of a trend with women, especially in New York, that they want to go a little bit out of the box, or, they feel like they have to be the cookie cutter wedding, pink nails or French things like that. But if you wear, dark, red lip or nails or something on a daily, or you wear your hair down, don't feel like you have to, pull your hair back, you have to wear a French manicure.
Right.
I think it's good to have a lot of, classic traits in the wedding, because when you look back at pictures, you don't want to be like, ah, but you also don't want to look back at pictures and say, oh, that wasn't me,
Right.
So,
Right.
I would say, there's no rules in the planning of a wedding and brides. Just, to really be kind to everyone around you, because the people that are around you that are helping you, don't become a bridezilla. Really respect everybody and listen to their opinions. And I think that would be the biggest, faux pas for me, because at the end of the day, when the wedding is over, you don't want to be like, I'm so sorry for being,
Yes, no, that's great advice, because I feel like so many people have said to me, oh my God, you must be so stressed with the wedding planning. And I'm like, honestly, it's going to be 5 months away, which is crazy. I know, it's so exciting. But it's 5 months away, and people are like, are you just bugging out? And I said, I don't think I'm going to be really bugging out until it's like a month before.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be excited. Like, I'm excited, but I'm like not even close to what I think I'm going to be when it gets there. And then it'll be over.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So
yeah. It's a little surreal, right?
Yes.
Until it really gets very close. I mean, my biggest tip for every bride out there is to enjoy the not only the day, the process, because, I think it's important as a wedding planner that you have, you've gotten married and you can be in the bride's shoes and really see how they're feeling.
Right.
Because it's so important to just be relaxed and enjoy the experience, because it's, hopefully this will be, the bride's only time to get married, and you want to, enjoy all of the wonderful things.
No, thank you for joining us today. You're so
thank
informative.
You. Oh, thank you.
So guys, check out Nikki French's wedding website, acinderellaevent.com. She's doing a phenomenal job planning my wedding, and the reason I'm not stressed is because when you have someone like her planning it, you don't really need to worry about anything. We'll see you guys next week with Leah Palmieri from SiriusXM. See you guys soon. Have a great week.